King's Highway. I'm not going to move. What is going on here? We just want you. What's the problem?
That's my wallet. You're under arrest for obstructing police.
There we go.
What is this? I've asked you for identification numerous times. You failed to identify yourself. That's obstructing police.
I was actually quite hopeful that these charges would be dismissed outright, but clearly they're not done with making an example out of me yet. David Menzies for Rebel News here at the Ontario Court of Justice in downtown Toronto. Well, folks, I had my first appearance for that incident that occurred last March. You might recall that cameraman Efren Monsanto and I went down to the King Edward Hotel to cover a Justin Trudeau fundraiser. Really nothing special about that, except the pro-Hamas types were out there to demonstrate. In fact, they had many posters saying "Genocide Justin," which is really curious because if anything's become clear in recent weeks, it's that Team Trudeau is on Team Hamas. You even have that self-hating Jew, Yara Sachs, a Canadian-Israeli Jew, going over to the Middle East and hobnobbing with terrorists. Regardless, we went down to see if the pro-Hamas types were going to be successful in shutting down the fundraiser. That was their intent. After all, they were successful in early March in shutting down what was essentially a state dinner. Prime Minister Trudeau entertaining his Italian counterpart, Giorgia Meloni. And believe it or not, the pro-Hamas types shut down that event, even though 52 Division is 1 block away from the Art Gallery of Ontario, which was the venue for that dinner. Unbelievable. I went over to the pro-Hamas people to interview them. That is my job. And then suddenly, I was accosted by a couple of Toronto Police Service constables who physically moved me away and later arrested me allegedly for my own protection. Here, check out the video evidence.
Brother. It's okay. We offered you some food if you want to eat. Highway. I'm not going to move. What is going on here? We just want you. What's the problem?
That's my wallet. You're under arrest for obstructing police.
There we go.
What is this? I've asked you for identification numerous times. You failed to identify yourself. That's obstructing police.
Now, folks, before I get to the crux of the matter, can you do me a favor? Go to standwithdavid.com. That's standwithdavid.com. We're fighting back against those censorious police forces that are trying to shut down independent media, but we need your help. Please make a donation at standwithdavid.com. Did you notice the guy with the beard? That is our friend Naveed Awan. I say that facetiously. He's no friend of ours. Last month, outside of a synagogue in Thornhill, he stole my cameraman's iPhone, that would be Lincoln J, and assaulted him. He later apologized off camera. You see, he thought Lincoln was a Zionist, so apparently that means you're fair game for theft and assault.
Grab my phone, man. What the fuck? Hey, put your phone away. Go away. We're gonna hit you. Go away. I swear to God, get the fuck out of here, bro. Wallahi, just get out of here.
Hey, watch your hands, bud. Hey, just watch your hands. Watch your hands.
I don't know. The heat, the tension's just going to get worse, you know, when you go after Zionists.
This Zionist pig was laughing when a van almost ran us over. Whether it's on the streets, whether it's at work, or whether it's in your place of worship, it could be at a synagogue, everyone will be held accountable.
When you want to give attitude like that, I'm going to expose you. You hear me? Do you hear me, buddy?
Mickey, you want to think twice about what you say. Never again is now.
Sorry, what did you just say? Never.
You're not going to tell people if it's not in your heart. Don't be afraid to say Zionism is terrorism.
But this one specifically, because it's in a Zionist infested area.
Remember back in January, the Toronto police actually delivered coffee and Timbits to these demonstrators. And you might be asking, what was I charged with? It was obstruct police. But I was standing on a public street doing public service journalism, if you ask me, and they arrested me for my own protection, allegedly, that my questions might incite the mob. Well, you know what? That's the mob's problem. If you're going to react in a democracy violently to, insensitive questions, that's on you. That's not on the journalist. So there was obstruction happening that evening, folks. It was the police obstructing us, just like they did in Richmond Hill back in January with that Royal Canadian Mounted Henchman throwing out a clothesline and doing a stitch-up job that he was assaulted, charges of which were dropped within 45 minutes. So take that for what you will. So I went in today hopeful to get this matter resolved. And can you imagine? The Crown did not have their disclosure ready. You know, it's been weeks. How much time do they need? And yet, what I think the unspoken reason is, folks, it is the process is the penalty. I've got to come back to this courtroom on May 1st at 9 a.m., but it's all part of the ongoing humiliation of me, isn't it? First, I'm manhandled, then I'm arrested, then I'm put in solitary for more than 4 hours at 51 Division, then I have to go for fingerprints and mug shots. So I think the police, or whoever is directing the police, they're getting a big belly laugh over this real-life Cersei walk of shame. But I can tell you, we're going to get the last laugh. We're going to sue these guys just as we are suing the RCMP and Fraulein Freeland. Can you please do me a dear favor? Can you go to standwithdavid.com? That's standwithdavid.com. Certain law enforcement agencies are cracking down on our right to report. We're not part of the establishment media. Justin Trudeau hates that. If you can make any donation whatsoever, that would be greatly appreciated. Please go to standwithdavid.com. And anyways, folks, we will have an update for you on May 1st. I was actually quite hopeful that these charges would be dismissed outright, but clearly they're not done with making an example out of me yet. I'm one of the few reporters out there that is not on the Justin Trudeau payroll. I'm one of the few watchdogs that is still a watchdog and not a Justin Trudeau lapdog. So we'll be back here on May 1st. In the weeks ahead, I am sure we're going to be paying a house call to the Toronto Police Service with a civil suit for infringing on our rights to report. You know, Bill C-63, it's not law yet, but it's almost as though many law enforcement agencies are acting as if this censorious bill has already been passed. Unbelievable. In any event, folks, stay tuned for the latest installment on this sordid story. We have more to report in the weeks ahead. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. It's amazing, isn't it, folks? It's as though C-63 is already law. Independent media types, such as reporters with Rebel News, we're being shut down by law enforcement. Is this the Canada that we've come to love? Is this the Canada you grew up in? I don't think so. Please help us out. We're fighting back against these police agencies that are crossing the line. Go to standwithdavid.com. That's standwithdavid.com. And if you can make any donation whatsoever, it would be greatly appreciated.